Yes.
So he could be out as early as two years and 9 months.
He has to serve at least 80% of the 3, but he can get out before the 10. So yes, there is some uncertainty here. And wow, the world is watching this. You know, Cosby was not just America's dad, but this is the first trial, celebrity trial, that we've seen in the Me Too era. And the judge, I can imagine, had a ton of pressure on him to do the right thing. He had a lot of discretion, and he seems to have exercised that discretion. There was no minimum. The judge could have given him 0 up to 10 years. So it seems like he kind of went on the lower end here.
We saw Bill Cosby walk out. I mean, the image is going to be on the front page of every paper in the country tomorrow and all of the news tonight. Bill Cosby walking out in handcuffs. Was there any chance this judge did not remand him in custody?
No. The judge found him to be a violent sexual predator. He made that ruling. What that means is the judge believed that he was going to reoffend, in a violent way. And so when you try to make the argument as the defense attorney, Your Honor, let him out on house arrest pending appeal, not a good argument, because the judge has already ruled he's a risk. He's a risk to society. So there was no possibility he was going to get, off on house arrest pending the appeal.
I'm here to stand by, if you will. We just want to kind of get you the table set here. Norristown, Pennsylvania. If you're just joining us, Bill Cosby has been sentenced to 3 to 10 years in state prison. 3 to 10 years. It's a pretty wide gap. He could serve, we're told, on good behavior. Could be on 2 years and 9 months. That's up to the prison system itself. We have heard from Bill Cosby spokespeople. We have heard from Gloria Allred and some of the victims there. We've heard the victim impact statements. This thing was emotional, and yet through it all, Bill Cosby did not say a single thing. He was asked if he wanted to make a statement. He said no. When he was led away in handcuffs, he didn't say a word. He showed 0 expression at all. And our producer in the courtroom, Lissa Kaplan, was saying that really Bill Cosby didn't make a move while the sentence was actually being read, which is a far cry from what happened when the actual verdict came down on it. He just said it got far because he screamed at the prosecutor, called him a blank hole, right? And today, he's sent to prison and no emotion at all.
I'm not surprised at that because, look, he has made it clear they're going to appeal. So anything that he would have said in that courtroom could be used against him. And so I'm not surprised if his lawyer said, you're not going to make any statement, you're not going to beg for leniency. What I am shocked about is that his family wasn't there to sort of speak to the judge and plead to the judge on his behalf. We would have liked to see his wife. That could have possibly swayed the judge in giving him some more leniency than he did. So that was shocking. The fact that Bill Cosby didn't talk, not shocking. We know they're already setting up the appeal. His publicist made a statement that they used doctored evidence against him. We know that another grounds for appeal is the fact that this judge allowed 5 alleged victims to testify in this trial. That's prior bad acts evidence, and that is arguably a ground to get this entire conviction appealed.
What about the designation of violent sexual predator? Because if he gets out in 2 years and 9 months or 3 years or 4 years, whatever it's going to be, there are hoops to jump through because of that designation. Any chance that can be part of an appeal to get that lowered?
Yes, they will appeal the conviction. That will be part of it. And you're right, there are serious ramifications when you are designated as a violent sexual offender. Bill Cosby is going to have to register for the rest of his life as a sex offender, not for a limited time. He's going to have to get counseling for the rest of his life, and it's just not a good mark to have on you. Certainly that's going to be part of the appeals process. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's going to be a ground to get the conviction overturned, but the fact that 5 prior, alleged victims testified, that could be a ground.
Yeah, it could be. I need to stand by, if you will. Let's bring in a reporter who was actually inside the courtroom when the judge handed down Cosby's sentence of at least 3 years behind bars. He is Bobby Allen. He covers criminal justice for WHYY News. Bobby, I was reading your tweets as you were sending him out of the courtroom there. Give us an idea of the mood and Bill Cosby's demeanor when the judge was just getting. Oh, I'm sorry. We got Bill Cosby walking out right now. Where's that camera? There he is. So Bill Cosby, hold on a second, if you will, Bobby. We've got Bill Cosby now walking out. You heard earlier his spokespeople say that Bill Cosby was doing fine, that Bill Cosby was wrongly convicted. They're, of course, setting up the appeal here. Bill Cosby is now being placed into a vehicle. He'll be taken directly to Montgomery County Jail where he'll be processed. The process of how long it takes to actually go from the jail to the prison, I'm unclear. I don't need to maybe you know this. Is it a...
It's a process. They have to process him, get his fingerprints, get him all checked out medically as well. I think it was interesting that we heard that in prison they might assign him an inmate that will against him because he is blind, because he is in poor health. I think that will be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, so Bill Cosby is now in the car. He will be taken to Montgomery County Jail. I want to bring Bobby Allen back in. He said he covers criminal justice for WHYY News. Bill Cosby is now kind of moving. And Bobby, I want to get your feel of what he was like and what the mood was like in the courtroom right before the judge gave the sentence.
So the judge gave away pretty quickly that he was going to get a state sentence. He said, Cosby's defense team pushed for probation. I don't think that's appropriate, the judge said. The Cosby defense team pushed for an intermediate county sentence. I don't think that's appropriate. I think total confinement is appropriate. And that sounds kind of wonky to a general audience, but I cover criminal justice in Pennsylvania, and I knew right away that meant he's getting a state sentence. In the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, that means at least 2 years. And indeed, when Judge O'Neill said he's getting between 3 to 10 years, that was